Good morning, friends. As a part of lecture series on electromagnetic engineering, today I am going to start your second chapter, that is electrostatic. So, in this chapter, we are going to see first what do you mean by electric charge, then we are going to see what do you mean by static electricity, then we'll proceed to the Coulomb's law. So, and we are going to solve some of the problems based on this Coulomb's law. So, let's start the today's session. Electric charge is a physical property of a matter that causes it to experience a force when placed in an electromagnetic field. So basically electric charge, it is a kind of matter property or substance property. It is experience a force when it is placed in the presence of electromagnetic field. So most of the electric charges is carried by the electrons and protons within the atom. So you can observe here. So this is an example of carbon atom. So at the atom, it is basically it is having three parts there. First is the proton, second is the neutron, and third is the electron. So you can observe here. So the proton and neutron are found at the center of that atom, and it is called as a nucleus. So you can observe here this positive part, it is a proton. Then this is the portion where no charge is present. It is These are neutrons, and it is surrounded by negatively charged electrons. So the electrons are continuously rotating in the orbit of the nucleus. So when the charge is said to be positive, when the number of protons are more than electron, and when the charge is said to be negative, when the presence of electron orbiting is means number of electrons orbiting around the nucleus is more than proton, then the charge is said to be negative. Now we'll see what do you mean by static electricity. So at your high school level, you might have performed this experiment, that one glass rod and a silk cloth. When you rub this glass rod on the silk cloth, so when rubbing the glass rod on the glass rod on the silk, it will become positively charged. So you can observe here, glass rod is positively charged, and if you observe the silk cloth, when placed in a contact with the rod, that it will attract the negative charges more strongly. So therefore this silk cloth is going to become negatively charged. So in this way, you can observe the stationary electric field around that glass rod and that silk cloth. So these are the simple examples. You might have observed that when if you rub a scale on a hair, then that scale is going to become negatively charged. So that scale is going to attract all the particles kept towards that scale. So likewise, static electricity is produced. So these are the day-to-day life examples. Now we'll consider the charges. Same polarity charges repel each other, and unlike charges attract each other. So object carrying a net positive charge attract a net negative charge and repel those carrying a net positive charge. Similarly, objects carrying a net negative charge attract those carrying a net positive charge and repel those carrying a net negative charge. So you can observe here. So these are the two positive charges and these are the two negative charges. So both are repelling each other, and you can observe here. So unlike charges are there, plus minus and minus plus, so they are attracting each other. Means unlike charges attract each other and like charges repel each other. Now the electric charge, it is an integer multiple of the smallest unit of charge, which is equal to the magnitude of one electron charge. So the charge present on a single electron, it is the magnitude, its magnitude is given as 1.602 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. So the unit of electric charge is coulomb. So 1 coulomb consists of 625 into 10 raised to 18 number of electrons. So you can imagine what do you mean by 1 coulomb. So the 1 coulomb it can be defined in a different way. So for that you consider the definition of current. So current, it is equal to rate of flow of charge, means current is equal to charge divided by time. So 1 coulomb is defined as the amount of electricity that is conveyed by an electric current of 1 ampere in 1 second. Means for the flow of 1 ampere during 1 second, 1 coulomb of charges are used. Clear? So this is the definition for 1 coulomb. Now we can see Coulomb's law. So that just we have seen that negative or unlike charges attract each other, like charges repel each other. So this basically mathematically verified by Coulomb's. So Coulomb's law gives the force between 2 point charges. So we'll see the statement first. So Coulomb's law states that force between 2 point charges Q1 and Q2 is directly proportional to the product Q1 and Q2 of the charges. It is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So let that distance is capital R, and that force is along the line joining the 2 point charges. So mathematically it is expressed as force is equal to K into Q1 into Q2 divided by R square, where K is the proportional constant, Q1 and Q2 are the charges expressed in coulombs, R, capital R is the distance between 2 point charges expressed in meter, and F is the net force in Newton. The constant of proportionality K, it is given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. Basically, if free space is not present there, then it is written as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. In most of the cases we are going to consider the free space, therefore it is written as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Now what is basically this epsilon and epsilon naught? So epsilon is the permittivity of medium. So it is the ability of that medium to pass the electric field. So that ability is measured in one quantity, and that quantity is called as permittivity of that medium. So epsilon, it is equal to epsilon naught epsilon r, where epsilon is the permittivity of given medium, epsilon naught is permittivity of free space, and epsilon r is the relative permittivity. Now as far as air is considered, relative permittivity is 1. So epsilon r is equal to 1. Therefore for free space we can write epsilon naught as itself epsilon value. So epsilon value is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. Approximately it is written as 10 raised to minus 9 upon 36 pi farad per meter. Therefore, by putting that constant K in that proportional equation, so we can write force, vector force is equal to Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square AR bar, where AR bar is the unit vector along the line joining 2 point charges. So if these 2 point charges Q1 and Q2 are located at point 1 and point 2 respectively, and if these 2 point charges are separated by a distance capital R, then the force on charge 2 due to charge 1 is represented as F suffix 1 2. So F suffix 1 2 indicates that force on charge 2 due to charge 1. So F12, it is equal to Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR122, where AR122 is the unit vector from point 1 to point 2. So you can observe this here. This is the charge Q1, this is the charge Q2. Then these two charges are separated by a distance capital R. Then you can observe this direction of F12. So this F12 means force on charge 2 due to charge 1. Similarly, if point charges Q1 and Q2 are located at point 1 and point 2 respectively, and if these are separated by a distance capital R, then the force on charge 1 due to charge 2, it is given as F221. So F21 means force on charge Q1 due to charge Q2. So F21 it is equal to Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR221, where AR221 is the unit vector from point 1 to point 2. So you can observe this here. This is charge Q1, this is charge Q2. The distance between these 2 points, it is capital R, and you can observe this F221, that is force on charge Q1 due to charge Q2. Now force exerted on charge Q2 due to charge Q1, it is equal and opposite to the force exerted on charge Q1 due to Q2. Therefore F12 it is equal to minus of F21. So it can be written as Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR122 equal to minus of Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR221. Now we'll see the problems based on this Coulomb's law. So this is the first problem. A point charge Q1 equal to 2 millicoulomb is located in a free space at point P1 having coordinates -3, 7, -4, while charge Q2 equal to 5 millicoulomb is located at point 2 having coordinate 2, 4, -1. Find the force on charge 2 due to charge 1 and force on charge 1 due to charge 2. So it can be solved using Coulomb's law. So force acting on charge 2 due to Q1 is given as F suffix 12. So F12 it is equal to, so basic equation is Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR122. So first we will calculate the unit vector AR122 and the distance between these 2 points. So the distance between these 2 points, it is root 43, and vector from 1 to 2, it is 5ax bar minus 3ay bar plus 3az bar divided by square root of 5 square plus 3 square plus 3 square. So this is the unit vector AR122. Now the force 1 to 2 can be written as Q1. So Q1 value is 2 into 2 millicoulomb. So it can be written as 2 into 10 raised to minus 3 into Q2. So Q2 is 5 millicoulomb. So 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 upon 4 pi. So epsilon naught can be written as 10 raised to minus 9 upon 36 pi into R square. Therefore it is square root of 43 square into AR122, and AR122 is 5ax bar minus 3ay bar plus 3az bar divided by root 43. So if you simplify this, you will get F122, and F122 is 1.596 ax bar minus 0.958 ay bar plus 0.958 az bar. So this entire is multiplied by 10 raised to 3. Therefore we'll write unit as kilonewton. So this is the force on charge 2 due to charge 1. Now force on charge 1 due to charge 2, it is F21 equal to minus of F12. So we already calculated F12. So therefore F21 it is equal to minus 1.596 AX bar plus 0.958 AY bar minus 0.958 AZ bar kilonewton. Now we'll see the next problem. So in this problem, a point charge Q1 equal to 300 microcoulomb is given and it is located in a free space at point P1 having coordinate 1 minus 1 minus 3. It experiences a force F21 equal to 8 AX bar minus 8 AY bar plus 4 AZ bar Newton due to point charge Q2 which is situated at point 2 3 minus 3 minus 2. Now it is asked to determine the charge Q2. So here force value is given and it is asked to find the charge. So first we'll find out the vector between these 2 point charges. So vector from 2 to 1. So R21 it is equal to minus 2 AX bar plus 2 AY bar minus AZ bar. So it is calculated by considering P1 and P2. So 1 minus 3 it is minus 2, so minus 2 AX bar, then minus 1 minus of minus 3, therefore it is plus 2 AY bar, then minus 3 minus of minus 2, therefore it is minus 1 AZ bar. Then we'll calculate the unit vector AR221. So it is minus 2 AX bar plus 2 AY bar minus AZ bar divided by square root of 2 square plus 2 square plus 1 square. So it is square root of 9. So this answer comes as 3. Now we will use the Coulomb's law. F221 it is equal to Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R221 square AR221, where AR221 is the unit vector. Already F21 it is given in the problem as 8 AX bar minus 8 AY bar plus 4 AZ bar. So it is equal to Q1 value is 300 microcoulomb, therefore 300 into 10 raised to minus 6 into Q2 divided by 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 9 upon 36 pi into minus 2 AX bar plus 2 AY bar minus AZ bar divided by 3. So if you simplify this, you will get 8 AX bar minus 8 AY bar plus 4 AZ bar equal to 10 raised to 5 into Q2 into minus 2 AX bar plus 2 AY bar minus AZ bar. And if you simplify this, so how to simplify this? You can equate any component, either X component or Y component or Z component. You can consider any one component from both sides. So if I consider the X component, then 8 AX bar it must be equal to minus 2 into 10 raised to 5 into Q2 AX bar. So AX bar will get cancelled, and if I simplify this, I will get Q2 equal to minus 4 into 10 raised to minus 5. Now Q1 is given in a microcoulomb, therefore if I want to represent this Q2 in a microcoulomb, then it will become Q2 is equal to minus 40 microcoulomb. So in this way, the problems based on Coulomb's law can be asked. Now we'll stop here. In the next session, we'll see what do you mean by electric field and electric field intensity. We'll stop here. Thank you.